Let me just invite my guests. Okay. Okay, I've sent invite. Hello, people. I am just waiting for my guests to join in.
Live.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello, Auntie. Hello, Uncle.
How are you, Sarika? In which part of the house are you?
I'm sitting downstairs in our studio, and I'm just waiting for Bhai also to join. Just give me a minute, please.
Okay. So she's waiting for Bhai to join. Bidu, I'm going to get you hearing aids now.
Just give me a moment. I'm just...
He hears all the ladies when they talk softly.
It is called selective listening, Auntie.
Selective.
Just give me a moment.
The book says so.
Yes.
On his
Can you check?
that certain
Wait. She's checking something. Bilu,
Sorry, what is Uncle saying?
Remember, he does homeopathy.
Yes, I
as a hobby.
remember that.
So his book says selective hearing. Tell about it. Talk to about it.
Okay. Manjeet is saying, Manjeet, can't you hear me? I see your comment saying there's no volume coming from.
human voice and
She's talking to somebody.
Can you hear me now?
frequency.
For some reason, there was a comment saying we can't hear you. I'm just trying to. Snehi, can you hear me? Can you please confirm? Hi, Pushkar. I'm sorry, I'm just waiting for Vineet, my brother, to join. We're trying to see what has happened with him.
I can talk to her. Yeah, so everybody's listening to you right now. Hi, Riju.
I can hear you, ma'am. Okay. So Ayura says, can hear you both. Okay. Thank you, Ami. So thank you guys for joining in. I'm sorry it's taking slightly long, and I can see 12 people have already joined in, but I'm waiting for Vineet, my brother, to also join in because he's part of this live. Till that time, Auntie and I can keep chit-chatting.
Yeah, we can do that.
Oh, hi, Nani. Oh, Auntie, looks like
my granddaughters come online.
I'm trying to send. It says already invited. Should I cancel and send? Okay. Tell him I've sent. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, so I'm excited. Just tell me. Can you answer on my behalf? You could. Okay.
We need to turn on the video. Okay.
Hi. My
Hello.
apologies. हम सब बूढ़े हो रहे हैं टेक्नोलॉजी हेलो
No problem. हमारी
दोस्तों कैसे हैं आप
बिल्कुल ठीक भाई. Can you see us and can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear and I can see clearly. Can you guys see me and hear me clearly? कितनी ठंड हो रही है देहरादून में आज?
I can see you and my husband probably can hear you.
So thank you. I think we will start the live. We have 15 people who have already joined in.
अरे वाह,
Zarine and
welcome.
Brigadier Bath, Vineet Panchhi, my brother. Thank you very, very much for being part of this live and being our guests today. This series that we call JiViSa on relationships. We've started it only last time. This is our second episode today. When we were thinking कि हम JiViSa को किस तरह से आगे ले जाएं, we were very, very clear that we want to build JiViSa as a holistic wellness brand. और जब हम holistic की बात करते हैं तो हमारे relationships, हमारी mental well-being, हमारी physical well-being, it's all encompassing. With that in mind and with Valentine's around the corner, we thought we don't want to say come buy our gift boxes, send a chocolate, send a card. We thought we want to talk about the most important things of love, our relationships. And we started our first episode last time on the 6th, where we had invited Neeti from Singapore. She spoke about, how do you set boundaries, values kis tarah se lai jati hain relationships mein, what are red and green flags, etc. And we had this fantastic young artist who also spoke about her experiences going through relationships. Today is our second episode. पिछली बार हमने end करा था ये बात करते हुए कि अगर आप इस मुकाम पे पहुंच जाएं कि आपको ये decision लेना पड़े that whether you want to stay back or leave, what do you do? And
अच्छा
today's episode is going to speak extensively on that.
मतलब
So,
हमें इसलिए बुलाया गया है कि हम एक बार डिवोर्स हो चुका है और मतलब चुन चुन के
so it just so happened.
अच्छा
So for
हमें
everyone's
इसलिए बुलाया
knowledge,
गया है कि हम एक बार डिवोर्स हो चुके हैं और अब दूसरा मौका देख रहे हैं जिंदगी का।
अच्छे अच्छे घरों में ना लोग
uh,
हमें गालियां देंगे कि यार ये बातें तो अच्छी ऐसी वाली कर रहे हैं बट आई थिंक
नहीं
इट्स
नहीं
एन
भाई,
इम्पोर्टेंट कॉन्वर्सेशन टू
हम
हैव
लोग आपको इसलिए बुलाया है क्योंकि despite not having like the most fantastic successful first relationship, I have these people who turn the whole concept around and are in happy second innings. So that's the concept. I do want to do a quick round of introductions for people that have
Sure.
joined in. So firstly, I have Auntie Zarine and Brigadier Bath with me. For everyone's understanding, they are based out of Dehradun, a very lovely couple. Snehi and I love going to their house. We are also associated with them through Bilzar, a very fantastic initiative where they help a lot of women who are trying to do some things in their lives. So they have very, very graciously opened their orchard, opened their homes and their hearts to so many people, and made a collective of sorts, and then take it to people to make a sustainable, economically sustainable livelihood for them. So they've
How
been
nice.
Right.
helping a whole, and through one of similar initiatives is where I met Auntie. In fact, our first exhibition we did at Auntie and Uncle's house in their orchard, in their private orchard. और इनकी बहुत ही beautiful story है. In fact, last week हम लोग इनके घर में थे, Snehi and I, and we very, very up close saw how even at this time of their life, there's just so much care that you see in each other's small gestures, how they continue to support each other. जब हम पहुंचे तो धूप नहीं आ रही थी अचार पे, तो अंकल मेड श्योर कि धूप आए अचार पे, because otherwise आंटी का प्रोजेक्ट खराब हो जाएगा. So
सही
those
बात
little things
सही
that you
बात
take away from this beautiful couple. So Auntie will be talking to you much more, and so will be with Uncle. And of course, we have Vineet Panchhi, a poet, thinker, my brother, and somebody that I go to for various things. Out of his entire body of work, one of my personal favorites is "Koi Aisa Dhoondho Jisse Baat Kar Sako." He writes on relationships, on life, on finding purpose, on not being attached to things that are not meaningful in life. And hence, we also decided to kind of bring in. भाई, मैंने आपकी पोएम यहाँ पे खोल के रखी है. I don't think I can do justice to it, but I do want to quote these two lines.
कौन सी वाली
कोई ऐसा ढूंढो जिससे बात कर
अच्छा
सको, क्योंकि वो आज
अच्छा
सबसे रेलेवेंट है.
बिल्कुल
ये वाली लाइंस मेरी फेवरेट हैं, so I'm going to narrate this.
जी
तुमको बदलने की वो फिराक में ना हो और खुद भी ना बदले ये ऐलान किया हो, और फिर चुपके से बदल जाए जहां पर जिंदगी कहे बदलना है जरूरी, और बदल कर तुम्हें महसूस भी ना होने दे कि बदल के तुम पे एहसान किया हो, और खुद भी ना बदलने का ऐलान किया हो. रोज बदलने की खुराफात कर सको, दोस्त बनके जिससे मुलाकात कर सको, रात से सुबह, सुबह से रात कर सको. भाई, ये वाली लाइंस मेरी सबसे फेवरेट है, बट आई विल ऑफ कोर्स
मेरी
लेट यू
भी मेरी भी
So I will take the conversation ahead. Auntie, I will start with you. आप और अंकल, we've been seeing you for such a long time. I think आपके छोटे छोटे gestures में प्यार झलकता है. We have seen it up front. And you found love a second time in your life, and a long lasting. उस दिन भी जब हम बात कर रहे थे, you were very gracefully speaking about uncle's first wife and how the kids are there, and I did not see any bitterness. I did not see anything else but love for each other. One, how important is a good relationship to one's mental well-being, and how do you build on it?
Okay, so basically, I have to respect everything that he loves, according to me.
Ji.
My relationship with him would be dead. It would not go forward because he has had a life before I joined
Right.
him, and he's had children which are part of his life and continue to be part of our lives today. So
Right.
unless and until I respect what he loves, and try to nurture what he cares for, it
Ji.
won't help.
Right.
And I see that when my grandchildren come to me, the amount of love and care and affection that he shares with them, they love him. My grandchildren
Right.
just adore him. They adore him.
Right.
And as babies, I remember, my little one, her name is Zaira, she would just hold his hand and run away into the orchard with him. And I would say she's running barefoot. And, she was so merry with him.
Right.
And the older one cooks for him when she comes. And there's a connect. And this has
Mhm.
only happened because they see the love that we have for each other.
Right. Right.
My grandchildren would not respond to him with that much affection and caring unless they saw me giving it to him.
Very
I
true, Auntie. Yeah.
believe
Yeah.
that. And when
Yeah.
he sees that I love them so much, he values them even more because he knows how precious they are to me.
Right.
You get it?
Oh, nice.
Right.
This is very
Absolutely.
important that we nurture each other through our children and our
Ji.
grandchildren. He's got one granddaughter who's in Goa, and we don't connect so much. But when that child comes to us, I take care of her because I know
Right.
it means a lot to
Right.
him.
Right.
Just
So what
small
I'm
things.
hearing, what I'm hearing, Auntie, is that one, of course, you need to respect everything that he loves, and out of that comes a lot of love, for our family, for everything he believes in, and that kind of starts to build on each other, right? Bhai, would
What do you
you
think?
like to add to this?
Yeah, I want to see what he has to say. What I just
Create
said.
yourself, पहले.
Yeah.
I think before the grandchildren came in, it was the children. And I had very good rapport with her children, very good rapport.
Ji,
And
ji, ji.
when they moved out of Shillong, shall I say, I was still there. And the son was left behind with me because he had to finish his schooling.
Ji.
And then when I went forward into the forward zones of Arunachal, I took the son along and he lived in a snow tent with me for quite some time to get to familiarize himself with what the army is about, uh,
Right. Right.
what it is going to be in case he joined service.
So
Right.
basically, Sarika, he ended up joining the army. And my
Ji.
dream for my son was to put him through the IAS and, that kind of stuff.
Ji.
And I said, what are you doing? He said, I want to be like Billu uncle.
How
So,
nice. Ji.
these two
How
girls.
nice. Ji. And you're absolutely right, Auntie. Matlab, when we accept a partner, we actually accept the entire ecosystem. And, the more you kind of start embracing the entire thing, the more beautiful it becomes, right?
Very true. Very
Yeah. Bhai, I'd like to pull you in here.
Hmm.
You've also kind of, had a marriage, gone through a divorce, and now in a very beautiful relationship. Would you like to add something to this?
Something to, और थोड़ा सा सवाल दोबारा पूछना. मैं तो
How,
इतनी गौर से उनकी बात
how,
सुन रहा था कि.
no problem. So we are saying that one, when we get into a relationship, to make a relationship more meaningful, we there has to be more respect and embracing of the entire ecosystem. So you don't just embrace your partner, you look at what he or she likes, respects, stands for, and you also start embracing that.
Hmm. तो नेचुरली कोई भी शख्स खाली अपनी इंडिविजुअल वैल्यूज लेके तो नहीं आता. इट्स अ कंप्लीट
Yeah,
पैकेज. तो उनके साथ कुछ
yeah,
लोग हैं, उनके साथ कुछ आदतें हैं, उनके साथ कुछ पुराने बैगेज हैं, और वो बैगेज, वो आदतें, वो वैल्यूज, वो सारे के सारे जो चीजें वो अपने साथ लाते हैं उस पैकेज में. या तो आप पूरा पैकेज एक्सेप्ट करोगे या नहीं करोगे. और
absolutely.
मतलब दोबारा आप जब शुरुआत करते हो तो आप सेल्फ अवेयर भी थोड़े से ज्यादा होते हो, होपफुली, कि
Yes,
you know, and it's just, I think, easier to accept people because you have your own baggage also. तो आपकी
yes,
उम्मीद ये
absolutely.
होती है कि मतलब दूध के धुले तो हम कोई भी नहीं, हमसे खासी
Right,
गलतियां हुई हैं, वो
right,
गलतियों के नतीजे हम ही हैं,
right,
हमारी जिंदगी है. तो आप
right.
जिससे भी आप दोबारा मिलोगे वो पूरा का पूरा उसके साथ आएगा. तो मतलब मेरे लिए तो ये बिल्कुल ही नो ब्रेनर है कि करना चाहिए नहीं करना चाहिए भी. मुझे लगता है कि पूछने की क्या बात है. मतलब तो ऑब्वियस नहीं है कि जो आपके पास आएगा या तो पूरा कबूल या मतलब आप फिर कहोगे जैसे जवानी में हुआ था कि देखो जी, इस लड़की को यहाँ से अप्रूव करेंगे और आपके घर में लगा देंगे और इसका तो पिछला पूरा छूट जाएगा और आपके यहाँ करेंगे. मतलब कम ऑन यार,
Yeah.
मतलब उसके साथ भी नाइंसाफी हुई थी, हमें भी बहुत सारी चीजें पेट्रियार्कल तरीके से समझाई गई थी, वो हो गई जो हो गई।
Yeah. Yeah.
अब दोबारा होपफुली इन मिडिल एज थोड़े से तो ज्यादा सयाने हमें होना ही चाहिए, तो हाँ ना चाहिए।
Absolutely. Absolutely. ये तो है ही, मतलब व्हाट आई हर्ड यू से भाई इज, एक तो हमारी सेल्फ अवेयरनेस बहुत जरूरी है, एंड टिपिकली मुझे
बिल्कुल।
लगता है बाय द टाइम यू रीच योर सेकंड इनिंग्स इन अ रिलेशनशिप, you do feel and you should be a little more self-aware. At least हमें ये पता होना चाहिए what did not work for me, why it did not work for me, what is it that this time I'm absolutely not ready to compromise on, and hence what are the qualities that I'm looking in my partner, because I obviously don't want to make the same mistake. But I do want to kind of take this conversation slightly on a different track to say, when does one realize कि हमें इस relationship को hold on करना है या let go करना है? So that's what we wanted to kind of also really talk extensively. Whether you're first or second or whatever relationship, when do you know that it is time to let go? What are the flags? Why is it important for us to start doing that? Because I was looking at some data in the morning to see, what is the divorce rate? By the way, the divorce rate in India is still less than 1%. Which was very surprising when this data came to me. I think a lot of people, for various reasons, still stay back. Support system nahi hota,
Yeah.
financial security nahi hoti.
Absolutely.
There still is a huge taboo. And I do see a lot of people in relationships pretending to be happy, but actually going through a lot of sadness, depression, anxiety, various other aspects of that, but not calling it out. So at what stage of our relationship should we start doing that? And by this time, maybe we can start with you because you were already talking about this.
तो पहले तो हमारी बदकिस्मती ये है कि इंडिया में औरतों और आदमियों में जो सिक्योरिटी का फर्क है वो बहुत ज्यादा है
जी.
पेट्रियार्की की वजह से आदमी तो जा जाके किसी के यहाँ घर जवाई बन नहीं रहे हैं, तो द इंटायर सिक्योरिटी ऑफ द वुमन डिपेंड्स ऑन द मैन एंड हिज फैमिली। और दूसरा, हमारे यहाँ माँ बाप ये भी कहते हैं कि जी हमारे यहाँ से लड़की जाएगी और उसके बाद अर्थी उसकी वहां से उठेगी, तो दिस अ वेरी कॉम्प्लिकेटेड सिचुएशन एंड मोस्ट वुमेन कांट रियली get out of really bad marriages, primarily because they have no support system, and it is really unfortunate. Also because of raising children and giving up their careers, most women in India do not have the kind of financial independence that one requires. तो ये unfortunate चीजें हैं. So I don't want to also say कि सबके साथ ये बराबर है. But let's presume कि आप ऐसी situation में हैं जहां पे आप परेशान हैं, आप दुखी हैं, मतलब हर एक का अलग अलग इसका स्केल होगा. मुझे लगता है कि जब आपको लगे कि आप अकेले ज्यादा खुश हैं बजाय इसके कि आप किसी और के साथ रहें, फिर वो कोई भी रिलेशनशिप हो. अब उसमें क्या होता है कि जिम्मेदारी, मतलब मेरे साथ, नाउ दैट वी आर डूइंग दिस वेरी पब्लिकली, आई डोंट माइंड. Sometimes children keep you in marriages. Sometimes the fact that you're so used to it keeps you in that relationship. Sometimes it's just that मेरे आसपास कोई उदाहरण नहीं है, so I really don't know what template to follow. There are no role models. तो ये सारी चीजें आपको रखती हैं. But once you know that you would rather spend a lot of time alone than with your partner, and the kind of companionship that you seek, the intimacy that you seek, and it's not available, then I think you should at least consider whether it is worth staying back. I mean, is what is holding you larger than what is pushing you to get out? मतलब कहाँ इसका सीधा जवाब आई विश होता कि यार एक दिन रात को जब ऐसा होगा ना उस दिन चले जाना. कहाँ होता है? सालों साल लोग सोचते रहते हैं और उसके बाद, and it's very very difficult to take this decision. So I don't think I want to recommend a specific time, but अगर आप अकेले ज्यादा खुश हैं और वो, तो फिर आपको निकल जाना चाहिए. आपकी बेसिक सिक्योरिटी अवेलेबल है.
Yes, sir, but that itself is such a good measure to look out for, भाई. अगर आपको देखना ही है, and I do know some people who were seeing our promos for this live did write to me on the site to say I will definitely catch up on this live, because सबके दिमाग में एक वो validation की जरूरत होती है. They want somebody else to tell you that. But I think that's a great point that you just said कि अगर अपने साथ टाइम बिताने में ज्यादा मजा आने लगे, you started kind of ignoring or avoiding your partner, then it's time to at least question what you're going
Yeah,
through.
I
At
think
least see if
why.
you're in a very,
I just want to add one thing, sir.
right.
वो last time नीति आई थी, वो कहती है ना, उनका एक मॉडल है वो पिक
Yeah,
वाला, पार्टनरशिप, इंटीमेसी, कंपेनियनशिप. तो
yeah,
पार्टनरशिप, अकॉर्डिंग टू नीति, ऑफ कोर्स, इज दैट आप अपने पार्टनर की ग्रोथ में बहुत इंटरेस्टेड है, देन यू आर अ गुड
yes,
पार्टनर. आप चाहते हैं कि उसकी तरक्की हो,
yes,
चाहे किसी भी इलाके में.
yes,
फिर आप
yes,
उससे
yes,
खुल के बात कर सकते हैं, तो वो इंटीमेसी है. आपको डर नहीं लगता टू बी योर सेल्फ,
yeah,
तो आप इंटीमेट हैं. और इफ यू आर एक्चुअली डूइंग मेनी थिंग्स टुगेदर, विच इज कंपेनियनशिप, अगर इन तीनों में कमी है,
right,
आप एक दूसरे में इन्वेस्टेड नहीं है, आप एक दूसरे के सामने खुल के बात नहीं कर सकते, या यू कांट बी योर सेल्फ, एंड यू डोंट डू अ लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स दैट यू बोथ एंजॉय, then you must
right,
ask yourself, I mean, do you want to give yourself another shot? Is there somebody else?
right.
दूसरा क्या है कि how many people have a chance of finding somebody else? तो आधे
Absolutely.
तो इस डर से बैठे रहेंगे कि यार मैं निकल भी लूंगा इस सिचुएशन से, तो what are the odds,
Or
that
yes,
I will find someone.
yes,
Yeah, but I'd say from मेरा एक ही experience है, so it's not like
yes,
I can say मेरे को बहुत ज्यादा पता है. I am only talking out of my one experience, and
sure,
that is that it is dangerous, it is risky, it is sometimes it feels like it's not worth it, but it's better than staying in a relationship that is not working. So that's it.
absolutely, absolutely. And building on your point, bhai, you said one of the points you said was, अगर आप एक दूसरे की growth में मदद नहीं कर रहे हैं. Auntie, when I was
बिल्कुल
talking to
बिल्कुल.
you last week at your house, this was also one of the points you and uncle made. Would you like to elaborate on how you decided to move out of your first relationships?
Sometimes one doesn't decide to move out. Things happen that, you feel this change has to be made, and it actually disrupts a lot of lives, like you
Right.
say. So when that happens, you sort of don't want to disrupt that particular life because it's connected with so many other lives. But then there
Right.
comes a
Right.
point in your life when you feel this is not working, and
Ji.
there is so much anger at that moment.
Right.
And there's a sense of humiliation, a loss of pride, a loss of mistrust, distrust. And, then it doesn't work. That relationship is not working. There's no
Ji.
point in staying in there.
Right.
So one walks away from that relationship. It's a very difficult choice.
It
It's a
is.
very difficult choice because it impacts a lot of people. And in India, we're not just connected to one husband, We have our parents, we have our brothers and sisters, like you call it the ecosystem,
Ji.
and your own children. So,
Yeah.
it impacts a lot of life. So it takes a lot of courage to walk
Yeah.
away in India from a relationship. And then there's a point when it's a breaking point. And when you reach that point, that's when you just walk out.
Yeah.
All of us do. I know a lot of girls who walk out just when they reach that particular breaking point. We don't just walk away from a relationship in our country.
Yeah.
I've not met anybody. We all make it, we try to make it work. We try to make it work. And at some point when it's not going to work and living with that spouse is going to not help the other person because that mistrust is created or that loss of, or shall I say, affection, loss of respect. I would say respect is very important.
Absolutely.
If you don't have respect for each other, as she calls you bhai, then there's nothing left in that marriage. Nothing.
Absolutely.
Now,
Absolutely.
with my husband, Brigadier Bath, I found that what he gave me was a sense of identity. I didn't know I was capable of doing so many things. I didn't know that I could do, or I had the capacity to move forward in so many ways which I never explored before. And great support. You've all seen it. I don't have to talk about it. You've seen it.
Ji.
I mean, never even have to just get up and say, I have to go and see this girl from my group today. He says, get into the car and we go. I've never heard him say, I'm too tired. We can't do it today. Can we do it another day? No. So that support for me is very important, Sarika,
Ji.
And the financial support in the sense, I want to do something really stupid.
Right.
Like say,
Right.
we build another room.
Right.
There we have a lot of arguments. It's not that he says, "Chalo, bana do." He says, "I don't have the money."
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then I have to say, "Okay." Then I keep quiet. He says, "Okay, what was it you wanted to do? What was it?"
Yeah.
So then I start thinking that, oh gosh, now I better hold back because he's saying yes, and I have to now be practical.
Right.
So
Right.
when you interact with each other and you're thinking for each other, you have to think for the other person. What do you say?
Yeah.
Now to throw the question to him. Okay. Say it.
Uncle is enjoying the conversation, I can see.
He was listening very carefully to your brother because he can't pick up half the words. He refuses to let me take him for a center that consider hearing aid.
मैं जोर की बोलूंगा
We
आंटी.
discussed earlier selective hearing.
No, it's not.
So say what you had to.
No, regarding this relationship issue, it's not a one-day brittleness which breaks it.
Ji.
It's a continuous strain. Like in metallurgy, we say
Yeah.
a particular metal can only take so much pressure. All
Right.
the buildings are made after this is decided.
This is the
So
breaking
this is another building
Yeah.
which can take so much pressure and no more.
Right.
And
Right.
when you come to that, it's a breaking point. That
Right.
is the time you can do a little well and restore balance.
Right.
Otherwise, no one event leads to any disaster.
Absolutely.
It's
बिल्कुल ठीक.
a series of tiny things which are
Yes.
more pinching than any major this.
Right. Right.
And
You're absolutely right, Uncle.
one has to
Absolutely, Joe.
understand the partner's point of view and her way
Ji.
of thinking, her likes and dislikes, and best of all, what they call the idiosyncrasies of human behavior.
Right. So you made a very
She's saying something. She's saying something.
Sorry.
I was saying that you made a very valid point. कोई एक बड़ा event नहीं होता हमारी life में, छोटे बहुत सारे events होते हैं that lead to a breaking point for all of us. And like Auntie said, a lot of women or even men finally say that, okay, I'm about to break down. I can't take it anymore, and this is the time to call it quits. The other point you made, which I thought I really liked, was that from the time you've met him, the growth has suddenly become, you didn't even realize that you could grow so much. And as partners, are we able to add to each other's growth instead of pulling them down? At least for me personally, if somebody was to ask me, I think that would also be a very important point. I have seen in relationships sometimes that partners get competitive. They get insecure, and instead of adding to each other's growth in all senses, they actually try and pull them down.
Yeah.
Or they start growing in very different directions or pace, and somehow ek piche reh jata hai, he or she is basking in their own glory. The other person doesn't know how to deal with that. Instead of that, if we can decide on adding to that.
Also
I'll just take a comment.
confidence in each other, also confidence.
Absolutely.
I remember
Absolutely.
many years ago, Sarika, when I used to look much
Ji.
younger, somebody asked him, is that your daughter?
Right.
He said, excuse me, that beautiful woman is my wife.
Oh,
You know?
lovely.
I mean, he didn't feel insecure about
Right.
himself, you see. And
Ji,
that, for
ji.
me, was, I think, the most
Beautiful.
amazing thing at that.
Beautiful.
Because
How lovely.
it made me
Auntie, by the way, you
realize
still look very beautiful. You know that, right?
Of course.
I must say that he was so confident about
Ji,
himself.
ji.
So like, well, if that's what you're thinking, that is my wife, and okay.
How
And,
nice. So much pride.
yeah.
Yes.
So that's
So much pride in.
important. Yeah. So
Beautiful.
I
I will take this
watched
one
it with all
comment.
the girls, Sarika. I
Ji.
watched it with all the
Hanji.
girls, and like they all love him. You've seen that.
Ji.
So for me, that's also another I feel very proud to know that here is this charming guy going around charming all the girls. So,
Yeah.
you have to have that trust and that
I
affection and to
agree.
know that you carry each other and the other
Yes.
person is confident
Yeah.
about you.
Yeah.
That makes
Yeah.
that helps also.
So I will just read a few comments that our audiences that have logged in are saying. This is Ami from Mumbai. It's hard to move away from our own idea of love. Most times we know that this is not love, but our fear of losing even the little experience of love that we end up staying back. So sometimes we are not necessarily in love with our companions, but the idea that we are in love and the security that provides. I think I really would like to take this up, and after that, I will go to Neeti's comments because it's very, very different than what Ami's just said. Bhai, would you like to add to this? Do you have
अमी का
an
कमेंट,
opinion
हाँ,
on this?
हमें ना पिक्चरें इतनी दिखाई जाती
Yeah,
थी उसमें। अमिताभ बच्चन साहब फूल लेके जाते थे, वो बंदी उन पे फिदा हो जाती थी, और उसके बाद सब कुछ ठीक रहता था।
right.
और हमारी पिक्चरें अक्सर वहां खत्म हो जाती थी जहां इनकी शादी वादी हो जाती है, या वो बंदी पट गए, आप बड़े अच्छे अच्छे गाने गाए। तो हमें रोमांटिसिज्म ने टेम्पलेट ही नहीं सिखाया कि एक्चुअली जिंदगी वैसी नहीं है जैसी आप फिल्मों में देख रहे हैं, जो आप किताबों में पढ़
Right.
रहे हैं। किसी ने ये
Right.
बताया ही नहीं कि स्ट्रगल क्या होगी। किसी ने ये भी नहीं बताया कि यार तुमको जो एडजस्टमेंट करनी है वो किस हद तक करनी है, कहाँ पे आप
Right.
वो करोगे। तो दोस्ती आदमियों में या सहेलियों में तो समझ में आती थी, लेकिन एक यू नो स्पाउजल रिलेशनशिप की दोस्ती कैसी होती है, उसके रोल मॉडल हमारे यहाँ आई थिंक ज्यादा एग्जिस्ट नहीं करते। ऊपर
Right.
से पेट्रियार्की इतनी स्ट्रांग है
Hmm.
कि यू नो आप शर्मिंदा भी होते हैं, क्योंकि आज हम हो सकते हैं, उस समय तो यार सिखाया यही जाता था कि भाई।
बिल्कुल.
तो आई थिंक मैं एमी से एग्री करता हूं कि ये जो आइडिया ऑफ लव था, ये
Hmm.
आइडिया बहुत फ्लॉड था जो हमें हमारे एटलीस्ट जमाने में सिखाया गया था।
Yeah. Yeah.
और थोड़ा सा अगर ये बताया होता कि देखो दोस्ताना तरीके में इक्वालिटी का मतलब ये होता है, आदमी इस तरह काम करेंगे, औरतें इस तरह हाथ बटाएंगी,
Hmm.
तो ज्यादा आसान रहता। अब जाके समझ में तो आ रहा है, अभी भी नहीं पता पूरा समझ में आया नहीं आया, बट एटलीस्ट नाउ यू आर वाइजर एंड यू नॉट मेक द सेम मिस्टेक्स, होपफुली मेक नो
Absolutely.
मिस्टेक्स।
Absolutely. What I'm hearing is, adding what Ami said, the idea of love is fantastic, but it doesn't tell you, it doesn't speak about the practicalities of a relationship. And जब practicality hit करती है, तो you don't want to give up on the idea of love. And कभी-कभी हम इस वजह से भी relationships में रुक जाते हैं. And maybe, it's time that we start getting more aware of these things and start, looking at that. I will also take Neeti's comments here.
No,
She-
before you go to that
Sure.
comment, Sarun, no, I didn't exactly mean what you paraphrased it as. मैं ये कह रहा था कि अमी ने बोला कि हमारा जो आइडिया ऑफ लव था वो अलग था हकीकत से। मैं
Yeah.
सिर्फ ये कह रहा हूं, मैं
Yeah.
कह रहा हूं ऐसा तो नहीं है कि हकीकत खूबसूरत नहीं बनाई जा
Yeah.
सकती। मेरे ख्याल से इंडिया में या कहीं भी, और मैं बाहर ज्यादा रहा नहीं हूं, हमें गाड़ी चलाने के लिए लाइसेंस चाहिए, लेकिन शादी करने के लिए लाइसेंस नहीं चाहिए। यू हैव
True.
नो टेस्ट, यू हैव नो अंडरस्टैंडिंग ऑफ व्हाट you're getting into, and it's lethal for yourself, for your families, for society,
Right.
because you're going to create a lot of unhappy people. So there is no training available in terms of what is it that you're getting into.
Right.
And all the role models around you are flawed themselves.
Yeah.
So you either keep looking at the romantic version of what you see in films and books, or you look at the templates at your place where your mom is adjusting and your chachi is adjusting and your boy is adjusting and the men are served first, and all that. And then you start believing कि इसी सब में से इन दोनों के बीच का कोई रास्ता होगा, या तो मैं फूल लेके आऊंगा और या फिर वो मेरे को टेबल पे सर्व करेगी। So you're preparing men and women in a template that actually doesn't exist in a more egalitarian world.
Right.
So that's all I wanted to say. We have to explain to young people to be self-aware, to know what does it take to choose a partner,
Right.
and when is it that you commit. When and I know it sounds really odd, लेकिन आप 5 गाड़ी ट्राई कर सकते हो गाड़ी खरीदने से पहले, लेकिन इंडिया में एटलीस्ट शुक्र है कि ये नई जनरेशन इज मोर एक्सपेरिमेंटेटिव, लेकिन आपको 80% ऑफ मैरिजेस मिले और इनको इकट्ठा कर दो, बाकी आपस में निपटा दें।
Absolutely.
So yeah, I mean, I'm glad that these conversations are happening live. I mean, मेरे लिए तो ये बहुत मुश्किल conversation है। I mean, it's a little bit of sadness and bitterness and all that made especially public. But yeah, I still believe license देना चाहिए शादी करने से पहले।
I think भाई ये conversation बहुत सारे लोगों के लिए easy नहीं है. I know personally, I get a lot of personal messages, never on a public platform, where a lot of my women friends in relationships and marriages going through a very tough time for whatever reason, will not even comment publicly. Forget this. If you're a part of a big Facebook group, for example, Gurgaon Moms, you will see so many anonymous posts. They will even post an anonymous comment and not speak about it publicly. अगर वो अपना छोटा सा भी कुछ express करें, so it is absolutely uncomfortable. for a
We-
lot of people, and it continues to be that like that. Sorry, going back to the comment I wanted to take. This is Neeti talk with Wordy with me. Neeti was our guest last time. She says, "What are the signs of a relationship becoming unhealthy?" Auntie, what would you say? What are those signs that people should start picking? I know we've touched upon it pehle thoda sa 10 minute pehle, but would you like to elaborate on that?
Would you like to say that? What are the signs that make you feel relationship will become unhealthy? He's thinking about it. Okay.
Okay.
So I think when there's anger in a relationship,
Right. So that's a very important.
anger is the first sign. No matter what you do, the other person is not. It doesn't make you feel good about anything you've done.
Right. Right.
And anger and everything, and if the person doesn't compliment you, doesn't appreciate anything that you do, then you realize that what's happening here. I made the best dish, or I'm looking really good, or I've done something to make the house look beautiful. I'm talking about a housewife.
Sure.
I'm not talking about working here.
Sure.
Because most of us are working from home.
Right.
We're all wives first.
Right.
No matter where we work.
Right.
I can walk on the moon, but at home I'm his wife.
Right.
Or I'm a mother. Or I'm a daughter. That's
Yeah.
my relationship. Finally, what am I? A mother-in-law,
Right.
a mother, a wife. So when you say relationship, it's not only about a husband and wife also.
Right.
It's also with children, it's also with all the people around you. And when you see there's no appreciation happening,
Right.
that's the first, I think, barometer for us. That
Right.
the person is not appreciating anything that I've done, or not
Right.
looking at with the kind of affection and support that I'm wanting. I
Right.
think that is the first thing I would think. And then, I don't know, the little things you can pick up. It's just a body language. Body language is a barometer for us. You know that this person moved away. And then when there's no conversation, and if a husband and wife can't share like I was telling him this morning, I said, Sarika is going to ask you 5 good things that you like about me. Come on, tell me. So he started laughing. I said, yeah, come on, Bilu, come on. So we're driving in the car, okay? So he was still thinking. I said, you're still thinking. Hello. So if there's no sense of humor in a relationship, and I can't laugh at him and say, come on, tell me something beautiful about me, and he can't remember anything that he wants to say, and I put the words into his mouth. So, you get my point. That kind of relationship has to be built. Like I said, I can tell you 10 things I love about you.
Right.
But then that I'm a woman, right? Women can be more expressive. Men can't. But he does for me to make me feel very precious. Sometimes he says, when I'm feeling cold, just put your arm next to me like that. So, all little things.
Yes.
And when that is missing, then you know something is very wrong, according to you.
Right.
Physical contact, that's also important.
Absolutely. It is very important. Small little gestures of care are shown, just holding someone's hand, making sure they cross the road. Auntie, मैं जब परसों तरसों आपके घर थी, तो I remember you were serving, not just serving him something, you were also making him, have it with your own hand. And it was just such a beautiful gesture, even for me to look at. So I think that shows in a lot of ways. And what you're saying is, if you start seeing anger in very little things, then you should know that something is wrong. So first the affection starts to go out, the appreciation goes away, the little gestures of care and all of that goes away. And then little things start to irritate either of the partner or show anger. And in fact, on that, Snehi has written, this is so insightful, hidden anger, especially small pieces of it, really breaks someone apart. So, our angry gestures can actually lead to, the other partner completely breaking apart, and the relationship, of course, breaking apart. I also want to read Manjeet, who's our friend from UK, who's also logged in. Traditionally, parents recommend a relationship for their kids who live their lives into the future and a changing world. In addition, when Indian parents migrated and brought their children up, I'm sorry, the comment got cut, but what I'm hearing, Manjeet, you're also saying कि पहले हमारे लिए रिश्ते बना दिए जाते थे और भेज दिया जाता था, so इतनी सारी choices नहीं थी. I hope a lot of that is changing. As we are coming to the last 10 minutes of this chat, I do want to ask both of you this. To hold on or to let go, I guess you hold on if you found love, and you let go if you've seen one of those signs. But if you have found love the second time, third time, first time, whatever that is, what are the key points to make a great relationship work? Finally, अगर आपके relationships happy हैं, तो आपकी overall mental well-being is in positive. So I do want people to focus on how do we make and grow that relationship. Bhai, you want to go first, and I'll end with Auntie then.
Relationship grow once you're in that relationship.
Or Bhai, if you want, we would love to listen to your कोई ऐसा जी.
Let's hear what he has to say. Come on.
हाँ मैं सुना सकता हूँ. तो मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि मैं बार बार ये बोलता हूँ ना कि शादी के लिए इंडिया में क्या कहीं भी लाइसेंस होना चाहिए, और वो मैं इसलिए कहता हूँ क्योंकि वो लाइसेंस किसकी बिना पर आपको मिलेगा. पहले तो a lot of us are exceptionally immature, especially in our country. And I'm saying of course there's a whole psychological and physical way of becoming mature, and it is fine. We all go from teenagers to young adults to whatever. But we are exceptionally not self-aware. We sometimes don't even know what we like, what do we value, हमारी core values क्या हैं, हमें पसंद क्या है, क्या नहीं है. और साथ में हमारा जो ये पूरा social narrative चलता रहता है कि आंख से आंख मिलेगी और दिल में कुछ हो जाएगा, and that is it, बस यही है, इसी के पीछे तू जा. We really need to rework on this entire narrative and say, irrespective of what age you are, if you're not even aware of who you are, how are you going to go and find someone who fits the grooves that you created? We are all mad in different ways. So you got to find people who are mad in similar ways, and for that, I think it has to start with self-awareness. After that, do continue to appreciate, do continue to respect, do continue to invest in relationships. और इतना मुश्किल होता नहीं है. I think once you find people with similar value sets and similar directions in which you want to grow, then it is very easy. If you are in a relationship that you have to do a lot of work, इसका मतलब कुछ प्रॉब्लम है. Why should a relationship not be easy? जहां भी अच्छे दोस्त होते हैं वहां पे कोई ये थोड़ी होता है कि रोज नहीं, आज मैं एक और रोलर कोस्टर पे बैठूंगा, आज मैं ऊपर जाऊंगा नीचे जाऊंगा. कहाँ होता है? आसान होती है अच्छी रिलेशनशिप. तो आई वुड से when you feel as simple as, and I know it is cliche, when you feel nice with someone, when you feel light with someone, when you just say मैं बहुत लंबा बात कर सकता हूँ, बगैर डरे बात कर सकता हूँ, मुझे ऐसा नहीं लगता कि कोई कंटेम्प्ट दिखा रहा है या मेरी बेइज्जती कर रहा है. I mean you should test that, and then I'm presuming both people are self-aware कि ऐसा नहीं है कि वापस आपको पुराने वाले टेम्पलेट में डाल दिया गया.
Absolutely. And Bhai, would you like to narrate some of your most favorite lines on relationship, if you're okay with that?
वही जो तुमने पढ़ी एक्चुअली, तुमको बदलने की वो फिराक में ना हो और खुद भी ना बदलेगा ये ऐलान किया. आई एम नॉट हियर टू से कि तुम वो करो जो मैं चाहता हूँ या चाहती हूँ. तुमको बदलने की वो फिराक में ना हो और खुद भी ना बदलेगा ये ऐलान किया हो, और फिर चुपके से बदल जाए जहां पर जिंदगी कहे कि बदलना है जरूरी, और बदल कर तुम्हें महसूस भी ना हो कि बदल के तुम पे एक एहसान किया हो. समटाइम्स आई चेंज बिकॉज आई थिंक इट विल ऐड टू आवर रिलेशनशिप. और खुद भी ना बदलेगा ये ऐलान किया और रोज बदलने की खुराफात कर सको. अब what is growth? Growth is really about changing, but changing in what ways? Changing because the partner is asking, or changing because you want to change to support the partner? तो रोज बदलने की खुराफात कर सको, रात से सुबह, सुबह से रात कर सको, कोई ऐसा ढूंढो जिससे बात कर सको. For me, I think those are the key markers of what a good relationship is. ये मुझे याद भी था.
Beautiful. Like I keep telling you, भाई, कि तुम्हारी सारी poems में से ये मेरी one of the most favorite, और ये lines मेरी बहुत favorite हैं. And because I know in my personal life, my marriage, I was continuously asked to change. Why you're not wearing this? Why you're not looking like this? Why you're not eating this? And I hated it. I hated it and I resisted it. And I decided that I will not change because I was being forced to change. Vis-a-vis today, I'm in a very happy relationship, and I know I make very small changes
Absolutely.
because they come out of
Absolutely.
love and not come
Absolutely.
out of being forced to become somebody else. So
Absolutely.
change तो हो रहा है जो पिछली बार मैंने resist किया था, but this is coming from within me and not coming from outside, and
Absolutely.
that's the huge difference that I see in my relationship
ठीक है.
today. Auntie, aap, what would you like to say to this?
Should I?
Yes.
Please,
I
Uncle.
would like to compare this stage of human relationship to a dying tree.
Right.
You find a tree which is nice and healthy, suddenly the leaves have started withering.
Right.
Then you start digging around the root to see what is the matter.
Right.
You stop various means of trying to revive it. You hard prune it, you dig up and see what is eating into the roots of the tree and
Beautiful.
making it live.
Right.
So similarly, if you really want to revive your relationship, you got to dig in and see what is it that is eating into your relationship.
The root.
Right.
Then
Right.
come to the root cause, like she said, and it takes a lot of thinking
Yes.
and to get to that. And depending on how hard you work at it at that time, you can
Right.
revive it and
Right.
let it go. It is the circumstances that are around at that time.
Right.
And whether you really generally want to revive it, and you can get your partner also to reciprocate in the same amount
Beautiful.
of energy required to get through this.
Absolutely.
Sharika, wouldn't you expect that analogy from him?
Absolutely.
The perpetual gardening man.
You're absolutely right, Auntie. But what a beautiful way to express it. You know, as he rightly said, अगर आपको समझना है कि खराब क्या हो रहा है, तो आपको पूरा अंदर तक झांक के देखना पड़ेगा अपने partner के, and you will have to sort that for the leaves to start coming back and growing again. You know, for this relationship tree to start blooming again. And Uncle, we couldn't have ended this, better than how you presented it. You know, the analogy is like just perfect. With that, we are almost towards the end of our show. I was trying to see if I can take some more comments, but there aren't none. I do want to thank you, Auntie, Uncle, for being here. Thank you, Bhai, for being here.
Thank you, Sarika.
Thank you.
And thank you for
This is-
doing what you're doing, Sarika. I think आप आराम से खाली अपने products बेच सकती हैं, but this is great that you look at wellness not just as products but also the wider canvas that you're creating. And I think it's important that these conversations happen. So thank you.
Thank you, Bhai. Thank you. Like I continue to say that wellness is not unidimensional. It's a way of life. And through what we are trying to do now, we are hoping that people will adapt to a certain lifestyle. And with that, I'd like to end this. This is JiViSa on wellness. JiViSa on relationships, to let go or to hold on. The idea is that we start taking tough questions around relationships. We will be doing one last episode, the concluding episode, 2 weeks from now. If there are any conversations, if there are any dialogues people want us to pick, if there are questions you want us to ask, do let us know. Keep falling in love, but keep also leaving if you think it is bitter and toxic. May you all get fantastic partners, lovely relationships, and if you think you're stuck, just decide to walk off is how I'd like to end it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye, guys.